Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, today we are diving into a huge topic, maybe one of the biggest, religion. Our goal? To take this incredibly complex subject and make it make sense in a clear and hopefully really engaging way.
And really, the best place to start is right here with this idea. These are the big questions, right? The ones that have been on our minds since forever.
So, how have we tried to answer them? Well, our attempts have led to these incredible, sprawling, complex systems of belief that we call religions.
And you know, at the very heart of it all, these beliefs seem to spring from the same place. It's this deep-down feeling, this intuition, that there's something more out there, something bigger than us, a source we came from, and, in one way or another, a place we're trying to get back to.
All right, so let's get into it. You've probably heard the term the 5 major world religions before. But who actually makes that list, and why? Well, it turns out the answer is way more complicated than you might think. Let's dig in.
Okay, so if we're just talking about sheer numbers, it's pretty clear who the heavyweights are. You've got Christianity, Islam, and Hinduism. I mean, we're talking billions and billions of followers around the world. Absolute giants.
But then, you see this number, 16 million. That's for Judaism. And when you put it next to billions, well, it seems tiny in comparison, doesn't it? And that brings up a really interesting question.
So if it's not about the size, then why? Why is Judaism, with a population that's a fraction of the others, almost always on that list of major world religions? What's going on here?
And here's the answer. This is the key. Being a major religion isn't just a numbers game. It's not about size. It's about influence. It's about its history, its age, and its role as a parent religion to other huge faiths.
So thinking about it in terms of influence lets us see this amazing web of connections. It's almost like we can draw out a family tree of these faiths. And if we go way, way back, I mean, thousands of years, we can actually trace the roots of today's major faiths to 2 big cultural streams. And even those grew out of much older, prehistoric beliefs. And from those 2 ancient streams, we get the 2 main branches of world religions that we know today. The Abrahamic religions, which came out of the Middle East, and the Dharmic religions, which were born on the Indian subcontinent. But here's a really important thing to remember. Even within these huge branches, there is just incredible diversity. It's a huge mistake to think of any of them as just one single thing. They're not monoliths. I mean, think about all the different kinds of Christianity, or the divisions in Islam we'll touch on later. Every single faith has this whole spectrum of practice and belief inside it.
Take Hinduism, for instance. Life is viewed as a cycle, right? And it's guided by these really core ideas like karma, you know, the whole what goes around comes around law of cause and effect, and dharma, which is like your sacred duty, the right way to live. And these 2 things totally shape a soul's journey through reincarnation.
Then you have Buddhism, which offers a very practical guide to ending suffering. It's called the Eightfold Path, and you can really think of it like a roadmap for a better life. It gives you steps for everything, from how you should think to how you should act. Similarly, in Islam, a Muslim's life is structured around 5 core duties. These are known as the 5 pillars, and they provide this really clear framework for a life of devotion and submission to God.
And check this out. Within Judaism, you see this amazing spectrum of belief that's all centered on something called halakha, which is basically the body of Jewish religious law. The differences between the Orthodox, conservative, and Reform movements, a lot of it boils down to a debate over how or even if those ancient laws should change to fit our modern world.
And as I mentioned, Islam, which is so unified in its core beliefs, has this major division between the Sunni and Shia branches. This split goes all the way back to a disagreement over who should lead the faith after the Prophet Muhammad's death. Okay, so we've gone through these complex family trees, we've looked at all these different paths, so what's the big takeaway here? What does it all mean? Well, I think it's this. For all their differences, and there are many, in scripture, in ritual, in law, what you see underneath it all is a shared human quest, a search for meaning that goes beyond the everyday stuff, beyond suffering, beyond death, beyond ourselves.
When you get right down to it, these traditions are humanity's oldest, deepest, most profound attempts to answer the biggest questions there are. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? What will your answers be?